Hello folks, no cigar tonight. Welcome to another video. So we're going to talk about I guess the primaries, mainly in Arizona, which is tonight. And it's still going on, they're still counting. Right now, Kari Lake is down by 8%, and it's less than, I think it's 58% that's reported in. So basically back in 2018, I guess it was Ted Cruz and Beto. And in that one, well, it started off, with Beto basically something like 20 points ahead of Ted Cruz. That's because South Texas reports in first. Then it goes up to towards the central, north, and then the Panhandle. And I was watching, the midterms. I was like, man, what the heck, man? Ted Cruz is gonna lose to Beto? What the heck? Because just like what it's doing in Arizona with Kari Lake and this Dobson lady who's married to a 95-year-old billionaire. Yeah, you know why she married him. Get that money. And same thing, as the night went, the numbers went, and then eventually, Cruz overtook Beto. I think he beat him by something like 7. Eventually beat Beto by something like 5% and 7%. Somewhere I think 5% is what Cruz finally beat Beto by. And to the folks in Arizona, it's going to be something like that because I guess first what they're doing is they're counting the early voting and then the mass mail-in ballots, which people are saying, man, you don't fix 2020. You don't get rid of the mass mail-in ballots. Right? You're going to have Republicans. Even though this is the primary, it's Republican versus Republican. But this is basically MAGA versus a rhino. This Dobson lady's got Democrat money. She's got that 95-year-old billionaire husband of hers money. So so don't sweat it. It's it is late. It is later in the evening. They're still going at it. I guess they're still counting. We won't know. We probably won't know until I would say way either late, early morning, or tomorrow morning or late night. If it takes kind of Pennsylvania, it took them 6 days. For the primaries. Yeah, this again, the primaries is Republican versus Republican, and it took them 6 days to figure out, who won, and there were recounts. The people were taking the, courts got involved. Hopefully, in Kari Lake's case, it doesn't take 6 days. It don't take the courts to get involved. Hopefully, we know by early morning. If not, when I say early morning, I'm talking about past midnight, before 3 a.m. Before the, because someone mentioned that they might be closing down. How I pronounce it? That Maricopa County Voting Center, and I'm like, hey, if you are a MAGA poll watcher, don't leave. It's like, if you guys are closing this down, I'm staying here until the morning. Until it reopens, until the morning crew comes back, because if you see any 3 a.m., 4 a.m. white vans, roll up, pull out your camera, and film every bit of it. Don't let the the Democrats disguised as Republicans chase you out. So that's that. And like I said, and yes, and I voted for Cruz back in 2018. And it was the same thing. Like I said, Beto was ahead by a good 20 points. And I was watching with somebody. We're like, hey man, Beto just might beat Cruz, man. And of course we're watching the TV, and the announcer's like, well, this should flip, once the central, north, and especially the Panhandle rolls in. Yeah, the Panhandle is super red. North Texas is red. Panhandle super red. The North Texas is red, and Central Texas you're getting kind of purple. South Texas is blue, but who knows? South Texas is turning purple. So for this 2022 election, and of course, I guess I'll touch up on the witch in Taiwan. To you Taiwanese people, Nancy Pelosi don't give one rat's ass for the people of Taiwan. She's there for her own gain. She's there to make millions for herself. You know, she's there to cut deals for herself. Of course, on U.S. taxpayers' expense, because that plane, you know, that government plane that she flew there on, that's our taxpayer money paying for that. The F-15s, they had to scramble, you know, to keep the Chinese from blowing her out of the sky. Yeah, they scrambled something like, I think it was 8 out of Guam and like 5 out of Japan. So yeah, you're looking at 13 F-15s that were scrambled. And yes, the F-15 is still the workhorse of the Air Force. You know, we got the F-22, and we had it for like 20 years now, over 20 years. The Air Force finally, no, I guess they're not buying anymore. I guess they're buying the money pit F-35, and I don't know how many F-22s, but the U.S. Air Force is the only buyer of the F-22. Yeah, so basically the workhorse is the F-15. Looks like a cicada landed. See if the puppy gets it. And yeah, and it is still the workhorse. You know, they didn't scramble, you know, 13 F-22s or F-35. They scrambled, you know, like 12 or 13 F-15s. And that was to make sure the Chinese didn't shoot down the witch. You know, so it wasn't. Yeah, so she had a fleet. It wasn't just a squadron of you know, 2 or 3 F-15 escort. It was like a whole fleet. You know, we're talking 10, 13 F-15s that were scrambled to keep the Chinese from shooting the witch out of the sky. And hey, Chinese, she still got to leave. I mean, hey, by all means, if she wants to stay in Taiwan, hey, she can stay there. You know, you Taiwanese folks can have her. I guess there are videos of her, I guess, showing up at her hotel, and there were a pretty sizable group of Taiwanese there cheering the witch on. It's like, folks, you're cheering on the witch who don't give a damn about you. You know, what the Democrats are doing is that they're trying to egg the Chinese on to invade Taiwan. In case you Taiwanese folks don't know it, they're egging the Chinese on. They're doing, we dare you to attack. No, we want a World War III. We want a nuclear war. You know, and someone mentioned that you know, if it does kick off, it's going to be China versus Taiwan versus South Korea versus Japan versus U.S. and Australia. I'm like, well, no, it's going to be, you know, if those other countries step in, it's going to be China, Russia, North Korea, because North Korea would definitely, Kim Jong-un already came out saying he wants to invade South Korea and reunite the Korean Peninsula under the Kim Jong-un flag. Now, I'm not going to say the communist flag. It's under the, you know, the dictator's flag, his flag, the North Korean flag. Yeah, so it's going to be, of course, Iran. It's going to side with with China and Russia. Turkey, even though they're part of NATO, they will side with Russia and China. You know, Pakistan will probably get in it. I don't know about India, but India is part of the BRICS nation. If you know what that is, that stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China. I guess S, BRIC. I think it's BRIC, B-R-I-C. I guess S would be, I don't think there's S, it's just BRIC. I don't think it's BRICS with the S at the end. So basically, it's the 4 nation. It's basically an economic pact that these 4 nations signed. And I have a feeling Modi would probably be like, hey man, you know, India's going to join with China and Russia because we're part of the BRIC, the economic group. So yeah, so you got like basically, so you're going to basically have, you know, India and China, who has the largest population on Earth. And who knows, I'm not sure about India's military might, but basically China is about 30 to 40 times the military might of Taiwan. So if they throw their complete military might into taking over Taiwan, it's like we don't want to drag this out for 5-6 months, like, you know, like Russia is doing with Ukraine. Okay, and I'm back. I guess the camera shut off because it got too hot. Again, in the case of Russia, you know, they're about 30 to 40%, actually 30 to 40 times the military might of Ukraine. And had Russia thrown their entire might of their military into the Ukraine conflict, yeah, they would have been over in like 2 weeks. So basically, what Putin is doing, and I guess these analysts, these professionals came out and they're saying that, hey, Putin he's going to take over Ukraine and he's going to destroy Ukraine. So when this is all said and done, there will be no more Ukraine. There won't be the country of Ukraine. It'll be called something else. It might be called the People's Republic of Russia, or whatever. But the country of Ukraine won't exist any longer once Putin's done. Same with Taiwan. Once Xi is done, it won't be called Taiwan anymore. And unlike Ukraine, which it has has countries, it's got land-based countries connected to it, so people could easily, get in their car and drive. In the case of Taiwan, I don't know what the population of Taiwan is. I think it's like 100 million people. There's the population-wise, they're not small. They can't just jump in the car and drive somewhere. They can't even jump on a boat, and boat somewhere, because Taiwan is off the coast of China, and missiles from mainland China, which is I guess the city, or is it the province of Fujian, or the city of Fujian, which is right across from Taiwan, and there's no islands. There's Korea is like a 5-hour. Korea is like a 5-hour. South Korea is like a 5-hour flight from Taiwan, and then from there you got I guess it would be Vietnam or Thailand, which is like a 7-8 hour flight. So there's really nothing, even if you can get on the boat and try to go to I don't know, Australia. Australia is like 2,000 miles away. That's even further. So so in their case, they really can't, unless you jump on a plane and get the hell out of there, you're stuck. And we'll see. I have a feeling once the witch leaves, Taiwan or Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. I don't think she's in Taipei, but once the witch leaves, and the Chinese are going to let her leave. And of course they're going to dispatch, the 10, 15 F-15s again to make sure the Chinese don't shoot her out of the sky. And the Chinese understand. Hey, man, there's like 10 to 15 F-15s up in the sky. We're not going to have a World War II style. We're not going to send up 15 to 20 of our fighters and have a World War II style dogfight, where there's like dog. And yes, the Chinese, their military, the Chinese and Russians, now their military has caught up. Their military, their weapons, their weapon tech has caught up to the West. And the Chinese, they're good at copying. Someone noted that Asians, specifically the Chinese, the Asians don't innovate. I'm like, okay, I'll give you that. Asians don't innovate, but what Asians are good at is taking Western technology and improving it. The Asians took the train and made it into a bullet train. They took the computer and made supercomputers or superconductors. And basically, the Chinese has copied. They've copied the Russian, the Su fighters from Russia. They've copied the F-35, or is it the F-22? For their heavy lift, they copy the C-17. The difference is that the nose on the Chinese version of the C-17 is a little bit more pointy, and of course the American C-17, the nose cone is a little bit more more rounded. But if you look at the rest of the plane, it's basically a C-17. So so if it holds true that the Asians don't innovate, but Asians take technology and improve it. So if you take that into account, then hey, the Chinese copy the Russians, copy the Western weapons, and they improved it. Like the guns, the Chinese don't. They're not using the AK style guns anymore. Their gun is more of the French or the Dutch style, the bullpup, which is where the which is where the magazine feeds in behind the grip and the trigger, as opposed to in front of the grip and the trigger, making the gun shorter, but the barrel is still 16, 17, 18 inches, but the overall length of the gun, including the what you call it, the stock, no, forgetting, including the stock, is a lot shorter. So their weapons are, I guess, more innovative. I don't like the bullpup style. I prefer the AR style weapon. So don't a lot of these folks, oh man, the Chinese, their military is shit. It's like, hey, look, man, don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate the Chinese. If you go in underestimating the Chinese, you're going to get your mouth busted, and in the case of war, you're going to get killed. And of course the U.S. military, we've sent a lot of our weapons to Ukraine. We're low on recruitment. We're low on retention. So soldiers who are leaving are not re-signing up for a second stint in the military. Our numbers, our military numbers are low. I don't know what the morale, since I'm not in the military and I haven't talked. And folks who I know are in the military has been out for 10 plus years now. So yeah, a lot of them left the military during the Obama years. I guess when they're I guess they signed up during the Bush years, and they did their 2 to 3 terms. What's it called, 2 to 3? Anyways, and of course they left during the Obama 8 years of Obama administration. And yes, Obama was a good gun salesman, but just like Biden, he was also a good anti-military I guess enrollment guy. Well, that's it. Hopefully we get a update on the Kerry Lake situation. I have a feeling Taiwan, get ready. China's coming. I've talked to my Chinese relatives in China. They're like, nah, man. They're just doing a military. They're just doing military drills, military operations. I'm like, yeah, down there in Fujian, right across from Taiwan. Yeah, I know that. I think like a week or two back, China had their Navy drill, where they sent all of their fleets to the South China Sea. But I was like, yeah, they're doing it right across from Taiwan. But like, they're like, nah, man, we ain't worried. I'm like, okay, man, I should have brought water up with me. But yeah, I have a feeling it's going to pop off, and it might be before the midterm, or she may wait. I have a feeling it's going to be before the midterm, and that's why the donkeys are trying to provoke the Chinese to pop it off, because I guess they need a scary event, a international scary event to pop off, and we'll see. And thanks for watching.